faculty and staff are true leaders in the Tampa Bay area and demonstrating how much we can learn from one another and learn together. So today we celebrate many contributions made to the USF community by those of Hispanic heritage. Our leading faculty, our high-achieving students has a graduation rate of 90%. That not only tells the world that we are invested in our students, but they also are an important part of our community of high achievers and supported by the Tampa Bay wider community as well. And the commitment as an institution also can be seen in its engagement all across Latin America, from study abroad programs to research to medical care, from Panama to Costa Rica to Mexico to Haiti and the Caribbean and also in South America. And just recently, USF was singled out by the influential Center for American Progress in Washington, D.C. for closing the achievement gap between students regardless of their family's socioeconomic background. And that, they picked out USF as one of 3 institutions in the United States. That's all they picked out. Just a few institutions, and USF is there closing that gap. And we know that 40% of USF students are the first in their families to go to college and who rely on a Pell Grant to get through school. And we are doing awesome. They graduate from USF. So the students are trailblazers and they're really successful. We can all be proud together that we've built a university community that breaks down barriers and reflects the promise and potentials of modern America. So I'm very proud of the diversity. I'm very proud of all of you in making this such a great, successful celebration, not only this month, but all year long. And I just want to say, go Bulls. And I have a chance now to introduce our student body president once again and board of trustee member, John Cocco. But thank you.
Orlando Antigua was hired as USF head coach of the men's basketball team in March of this year. He graduated from Pittsburgh with a bachelor's degree in social sciences. As a player at Pittsburgh, he was a 4-year letterman and a two-time team captain. Antigua was named the United States Basketball Writers Association Most Courageous Athlete in 1994. After graduation, Antigua became the first player of Latin American descent to play for the Harlem Globetrotters. Antigua also played in Puerto Rico's Superior Basketball League and was twice a member of the Dominican Republic national team. Because of his dedication to the community, Antigua was named one of the nation's top 100 most influential Hispanic Americans by Hispanic Business Magazine. Prior to coming to USF, Antigua had worked as an assistant coach at Pittsburgh, Memphis, and Kentucky. He was named the top assistant coach in the nation under 40 by ESPN.com in 2012. Antigua is widely recognized as one of the most premier recruiters in the nation. And I'm proud to say, as a fellow Dominican, congratulations on all your accomplishments and lots more power. So with all due, can we please welcome Coach Antigua.
Thank you very much for the kind words. Can everybody hear me pretty good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I may get to moving around as what's left of a former athlete and a coach. We tend to kind of move around a lot. But thank you for this, for giving me this opportunity to come and speak to you. I'm continually surprised and honored to see the kind of support that the university has been giving not only myself but our staff as we've been able to get familiarized with the community. We haven't been here that long yet, and we're still undefeated, so that's always good. We'll still be getting invited to these kind of things as long as we do that. Go Bulls. Yeah. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit about my history, a little bit about myself, talk to you a little bit about my experiences and how I've been able to benefit from some of the people that have invested in my life, some of the people that have gone out of their ways to continue to be involved in our community. I'm excited to see and to hear about all the different success and the folks that are involved, not only with the USF community, but the Latino community también, as well as the Tampa community. As I'm getting to know the city a little bit more and getting to get my grasp into the community, the more and more I learn, the more excited I am about being here and being the head coach of this program. You start off in this journey as thinking about the basketball aspect of it. And never in my wildest dream, coming up as a kid, growing up in the Dominican Republic, coming to the U.S. at 5 years old with my two younger brothers and a mom that had a 7th grade education, did I ever think that I'd be have an opportunity to be standing in front of a crowd, honoring, celebrating our heritage, the accomplishments that you all have had. It's mind-blowing. Like I said, grew up in New York, in the Bronx. Like many Dominican kids, I was a baseball player at first. There is a witness here that can attest to how bad I was as a base. Two people. One, my brother Oliver, who's in the back. You guys can say hello to him. Who happens to be one of our assistant coaches as well and done an unbelievable job. But the other one is Lelo Prado, who thinking I'm, Dominican power. I'm going to invite him to come out and throw the first pitch. The baseball game, I'm just recently getting here, and while he was getting ready to, make the conference run, I go out and I throw my first pitch straight in the dirt. So he can attest to my lack of baseball prowess. But growing up in New York, as many Dominican kids, I tried to play baseball. I wasn't very good at it, and at the age of 14, decided to change sports, which was probably a good idea. So I was kind of a late starter in terms of basketball sense. Started playing basketball then, got an opportunity to go and play for a travel team. And being a part of that travel team opened my eyes. Like many kids in the city, many kids in our communities, you're kind of relegated to what you see and what you know every day. And growing up, all we knew was our neighborhood. This opportunity that I got the chance to play with the team and travel all over the world exposed and opened my eyes to a different way of living, a different way of seeing the world. And that motivated me. That gave me an opportunity to think a little bit more outside of my own neighborhood. So a few months after me starting to get playing organized basketball, I had something happen to me. I was an innocent bystander of a shooting. I got shot right here by my left eye. I was very fortunate, I was very blessed, that besides spending a week in the hospital, I was able to continue to go to school, continue to play basketball, to the point where I was getting recruited by major college programs. And in my senior year, as I'm going through this recruitment process, my family and I also had another obstacle that we had to face. We fell on some hard times, and we spent a period of time where we were homeless. During those two instances, you get a chance to learn a lot about yourself, about family, about adversity, and how that helps and changes you and gives you an appreciation for the things that you have in life that really matter. I can remember the one thing when I had my first incident as a sophomore in high school. I'm just starting to play basketball, and I know I'm at the hospital, and I know that my mom is going to be freaking out about this whole thing. You know, come to find out later on, they told her 10 different things about you got shot between the eyes, you got shot in the head. You know. So she's working. My mom was an unbelievable worker. She became a barmaid at a Dominican nightclub, and when you talk about hard work, it's funny to me. You know, one of the things that I got recruited for was because of how hard I worked and how passionate I was, or I am, about life. And from someone that might not have had the ability to go to college or finish high school, the one thing that I learned the most from my mom and my brothers and I learned from her was her work ethic and how hard she committed herself to trying to help her kids put themselves in a better position. She would work 13, 14 hours a day and would leave early in the evening and wouldn't come back till late in the morning. So we were fortunate that we were surrounded by people in our community that cared enough about us, that took care of us, that kept us out of harm's way. When going through the process of our second obstacle, I like to say, we found out there the community that we were living in, the people that we were around, also stepped up to bat for us. My brothers and I lived in a commune for a few months, and our high school coach volunteered to move in there with us while we got our stuff together, and actually found us an apartment where my mom could move in. And to this July, she had lived in there. I was finally able to convince her to move down here. So my brother and I are really happy to have her, and you guys may see her. Hopefully we can get you guys to some of the dance. You guys will be able to see her, and you'll recognize who she is, because she's going to be the most passionate, most energetic 60-year-old that you see out there. But those opportunities, I'm getting recruited and going through that experience. I get an opportunity to go to the University of Pittsburgh. Was able to get my brothers, put them in position to get scholarships as well. My middle brother also went to the University of Pittsburgh, where he graduated. My youngest brother, who was a hardhead in the family, wound up going to CMU, Carnegie Mellon University, and he graduated from there. Now he's also been has had a lot of success in his field down, and he lives in Miami. He lives in the state. So she's happy to have all the three boys in the state. I go to the University of Pittsburgh, play 4 years of college basketball. I'm getting ready to graduate. I still need a semester of, I need 18 credits to finish up my degree. I'm getting some opportunities to go overseas, potentially nothing guaranteed. So I promised my mom that I would graduate, that I would get my degree before I did anything. That decision allowed me to be put in a position where I get a call from the Harlem Globetrotters. And at first I get the call and I say, "You sure you have the right guy?" Now the Harlem Globetrotters is as many of you may know, it's an organization, a team that is world renowned, has traveled all over the globe, and has been an institution for basketball and family entertainment throughout many decades, and has been predominantly African American players. So when I get the call, I'm saying, "You sure you got the right guy?" And they say, "Yes. We want to invite you to come to training camp. Training camp at the time was in Phoenix, Arizona, and it so happened that the training camp fell on the days of finals. And I said, I really appreciate the opportunity, but I promised my mom I would graduate, and during the time that you want me to come out is during my finals, and I'll be finally done. So they said, okay, we'll get back to you. Then they called me back 2 days later and said, listen, we normally start our U.S. tour in Pittsburgh. We'll be coming to Pittsburgh. We want to invite you to training camp. Does that work for you? I said, absolutely. Now, the only issue is I hadn't touched the ball or been in any kind of shape for some time. Obviously, been taking NC credits and trying to finish up your degree. So I had a short period of time to try to get myself in some kind of shape. Needless to say, I went for a couple days, tried out, and that allowed me, did well enough that they asked me to be a part of the team. And that allowed me to become the first Latino to ever play with the Harlem Globetrotters. So I did that for 7.5 years, and then had to grow up and get a real job. It was an unbelievable experience, and going through that, I asked them, what was the thing why me? What was it about me that attracted them and wanted to invite me to camp? And they said the same thing. They said, you're very enthusiastic, we love your energy, you played multiple positions, but we heard about your work ethic. And it surprised me, and that was something that I took away from, obviously, my experience with my mom. I leave the Globetrotters, I go back to Pittsburgh, I have to get a job, I get into coaching, I get an opportunity to go coach back at my alma mater, the University of Pittsburgh, where I went on, was an assistant coach for 5 years. I get a chance to go and coach at the University of Memphis for a year. We then go to the University of Kentucky from there. And this business is very transient, especially as assistant coaches, and as you get a chance to advance. Again, I relied on some of the decisions and some of the opportunities that I had to try to maximize those opportunities. We go to the University of Kentucky, we go on this unbelievable run these past 5-6 years. Those opportunities have allowed me now to be standing here in front of you to become the head coach at the University of South Florida and the second current Latino in Division I basketball. I go through those experiences for you, for one, to talk about the obstacles that you may face. The hand that I was dealt and our family was dealt was those obstacles of adversity, of being homeless at a time, going through the experience of being shot. But those experiences shaped the person that I am today and the guy that stands in front of you now and gets a chance to coach the young men that we get a chance to coach. I'm talking to our guys about habits of success. As we get here, we look at the challenge that we have in front of us with the team. And immediately everybody wants to try to talk about winning. The experience that I got at Kentucky, being a part of that group, being to multiple Final Fours, winning a national championship, doing all the things that we were able to do at Kentucky. The one consistent thing that happened throughout those years is that we never talked about winning. We talked about habits, about hard work, about having goals and dreams, about servant leadership. Never did it come up talking about winning. And preparing for this, I was trying to think of what can I give to the folks that are going to be listening to me about my experience. And some of the same things I'm talking to our guys about. Habits of success. The one beautiful thing about the country that we live in is, as good and as bad as some people may say we live in the greatest country in the world. And one of the things that we have are choices. So I'm talking to our players about choices plus decisions will equal consequences. You have options, you have choices. How do you teach winning habits? How do you teach habits of success? Success, everybody wants success. But success is not a goal. Success is a consequence. Success happens because of the decisions that you make with the choices that you have. And I'm trying to get our guys to understand that we cannot get to March. For those of you who don't know, March is when it's at the end of the season. It's when you have conference tournaments and hopefully you're playing into the NCAA tournament, which is the March Madness and all the fun stuff. But you can't get to March without going through July, August, September, October, November, December. You can't get to the winning without having the habits that you need to have in order to win. I'm excited to be standing in front of you sharing that because I see people here that have that already and have been doing that. Now the help, the hand that my family was dealt, we had a choice. We could use that as an excuse to not want to go and succeed and feel sorry about the circumstances that we were in, or you use that as fuel, motivation to push you to try to get to your goals. That's about as real as I can be about my experience and what has allowed me to be able to be standing in front of you talking about my heritage, my experience, and it's been something that I'm trying to get our guys to understand. And they're buying in, they're working hard. I hope that you guys get an opportunity at some point to come and watch us and support us and come catch some games and you can see where the changes in our guys have been. I have to tell you, the last 4 months have been a whirlwind for me. Aside from being here and becoming the head coach and dealing with the recruiting, I got an opportunity to go and coach our Dominican national team to the World Cup of basketball. And it's something that the country hadn't been a part of in 36 years. And we were able to accomplish and get to the second round with something that had never happened in our country. So those guys bought into that. Habits of success. Taking advantage, making the right choices each possession, each day, and seeing the fruits of those consequences. I know you guys have a long schedule ahead of you. I wanted to share that with you all. I wanted to commend the students, the staff, and the faculty for being engaged in our community. Stay engaged as I get a chance to get more familiarized with the community, get more connected to you all. I look forward to getting a chance to meet some of you in person, seeing you around. I hope that you all come out and support our team. I hope that our guys will continue to grow, develop, and build those habits of success so that we can make you proud. You guys are doing an unbelievable job of making us proud as a coach and as someone that goes out to recruit and sell what the University of South Florida has to offer. I can tell you that I'm excited that you guys are giving me this opportunity. I'll be able to go about and talk about how involved and how our Latino community is continuing to flourish. Currently, we have a few kids on our team that are Latino. We have Ruben, who's from Spain. We have Nehemiah, who's Dominican. And one of our strengths happens to be that we'll be able to recruit the Caribbean countries and Latin American countries for some talent if they're out there. But you guys have done an unbelievable job. I want to commend you all. I want to thank you for allowing me to blabber on a little bit about my experience. I hope that you will have continued success in all that you choose to do. You have options. You have choices. Make the right decisions, and you'll have the success that you aspire to. Thank you again. If there's anything I can do to help out, please don't hesitate to reach out. Okay? Thank you. Go vote.
At this time, I would like to remind everyone that at the end of the ceremony, we will be giving out